Hello and welcome back to Hello Daily English. Hi everyone, we are so happy to have you here with us today. My name is Emma.
And my name is Jack. Welcome to another episode where we help you practice real, natural English for your daily life. We are your partners in this language learning journey. If you enjoy our videos and find them helpful, please support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel. It really helps our community grow and reach more learners around the world.
Also, please make sure you watch this video until the very end. We have a special vocabulary review and a writing challenge waiting for you that will really help lock this information into your brain. You don't want to miss it.
Exactly. Today is a very important episode. In our last video, we looked forward to the future. We talked about plans and goals. But today, we are doing the opposite. We are pressing the rewind button.
That's right. You cannot truly move forward until you understand where you have been. Today, we are going to learn how to talk about the past year in English. This is a crucial skill for conversation.
Absolutely. Whether you are at an office party, a family dinner, or just having coffee with a friend, people always ask, "How was your year?"
It seems like a simple question, but to answer it well, you need the right grammar, the right vocabulary, and the right tone. We are going to give you everything you need to sound fluent and confident when sharing your memories.
But before we dive into this deep ocean of memories, we must look back at our last video. We talked about how to talk about plans for 2026, and the response was electric.
It really was. You guys are so ready for the new year. We loved reading your resolutions. We have time to read just one comment today, and this one really touched our hearts.
This comment is from Maria in Brazil. Maria wrote, "I loved the episode on how to talk about plans for 2026. But honestly, 2025 was very hard for me. I lost my job and felt very lost. I'm trying to find the right words to explain this to my English friends without sounding too sad. Can you help me talk about a difficult year?"
Maria, thank you so much for your honesty. That is very brave. A lot of people feel pressure to say everything was great, but life isn't always great.
Exactly. It is important to be authentic. Today, Maria, we will specifically cover how to talk about the ups and downs, the good times and the bad times.
We're rooting for you, Maria. 2026 is your fresh start. Now, Jack, let's start with the big picture. When someone asks, "How was your year?" how do we begin?
Well, usually we start with a general summary. We use adjectives to describe the vibe or the feeling of the whole year.
Right. If it was a good year, you might say, "It was a fantastic year," or "It was a productive year."
Productive is a great word. It means you got a lot of work done. You achieved things. But what if the year was crazy? What if things changed very fast?
Then we use the word whirlwind. A whirlwind is a storm with strong spinning wind. If you say, "My year was a whirlwind," it means it was fast, busy, and maybe a little chaotic, but usually in an exciting way.
2025 was a total whirlwind. I love that expression. Another similar one is roller coaster.
Yes, it was a roller coaster of a year. A roller coaster goes up and down, So this means you had very high moments, good times, and very low moments, bad times.
That is perfect for Maria's situation. She can say, "To be honest, it was a bit of a roller coaster." It acknowledges the bad without being overly negative.
Now, what if the year was boring, or if nothing changed?
You could say it was uneventful. Uneventful means nothing special happened. It was calm. Or if you want to sound a bit more negative, you might say it was stagnant.
Stagnant is a strong word. It comes from water that doesn't move and gets dirty. If your life is stagnant, you feel stuck. You aren't growing.
So we have productive, whirlwind, roller coaster, uneventful, and stagnant. Those are 5 great ways to start your answer.
Once you give that summary, you usually need to give details. And this brings us to the scary monster of English learning, grammar, specifically past tenses.
Don't be scared. It is actually quite logical. When we talk about the past year, we mostly fight a battle between the past simple and the present perfect.
This is the classic struggle. Let's simplify it. We use past simple when we know exactly when something happened. The time is finished.
Keywords are in March, last summer, in 2025, yesterday. If you see these words, use past simple.
For example, I went to Paris in July. I got a new job in October. My cat died last month.
Boom. Specific time, finished action. Now, when do we use present perfect? That's the have, has, plus verb 3 structure.
We use present perfect when the time is not specific or when the action impacts the present. It's about the experience, not the date.
So if you say, I have traveled a lot this year, you are not saying when. You are focusing on the fact that you did it.
Exactly. Compare these two. I visited Italy in May. Past simple, specific time. I have visited Italy this year. Present perfect, general experience within this year.
In conversation, we often mix them. We start with present perfect to introduce a topic and then switch to past simple to give details.
This is a pro tip. Listen to this flow. I have started a new hobby this year. Present perfect, intro. Oh, really? What is it? I joined a pottery class in September. Past simple, detail.
That is so natural. I have seen that movie. When did you see it? I saw it last Friday.
So when you are reflecting on your year, try to mix them. 2025 has been interesting. I changed my job in April, and I moved to a new house in August.
Emma, let's talk about milestones. When we look back at a year, we often look for the big moments. We call these milestones.
A milestone is a significant event in your life, like graduating, getting married, having a baby, or buying a house.
When you share these, you can use the phrase, the highlight of my year was...
Highlight. We mentioned this in the last video, but let's go deeper. A highlighter is that bright yellow pen you use to mark important text. So the highlight of your year is the brightest, best moment.
Example, the highlight of my year was definitely my trip to Thailand. Or, the highlight was finally finishing my thesis.
You can also have multiple highlights. One of the highlights was...
But what if you want to talk about the struggle, the hard work?
Then you might talk about overcoming obstacles. An obstacle is something that blocks your way, a problem.
You can say, it was a tough year. I faced a lot of challenges, but I managed to pull through.
Managed to is a very useful phrase. It means you did something difficult. I managed to save money despite the inflation. I managed to pass the exam even though I was sick.
It shows resilience. It shows you are strong.
Let's try a role play, Jack. Let's pretend we are old friends meeting for coffee on December 28th.
Great. I love role plays. I'll start. Hey, Emma. Long time no see. How are you? How has your 2025 been?
Hey, Jack. It's been intense, actually. A real whirlwind.
Oh, really? In a good way or a bad way?
Mostly good. I finally quit my old job in February. That was scary.
Wow, good for you. So what have you been doing since then? Notice the present perfect continuous.
Well, I have been working as a freelancer. It's stressful, but I love the freedom. What about you? How was your year?
It was pretty quiet, honestly. A bit uneventful compared to yours. But I did manage to run a half marathon in October.
No way! You ran a half marathon? That is a huge achievement. You must be proud.
I am. It was the highlight of my year for sure.
Stop. That was a perfect little conversation. Did you hear how we moved from general feelings, intense, quiet, to specific events? Quit job, run marathon?
And we used the grammar naturally. It wasn't a textbook exercise. It was a chat.
Now, sometimes when we look back, we feel nostalgic.
Ooh, beautiful word. Nostalgic. Can you define that?
Nostalgia is a sentimental longing or wistful affection for the past. It's that warm, slightly sad feeling when you think about happy times that are gone.
I feel so nostalgic when I look at these photos.
We often use the phrase, "those were the days."
Those were the days. We say this when remembering a specific good time. Remember when we used to play football in the park until sunset? Those were the days.
Speaking of used to, this is another critical grammar point for talking about the past, especially past habits.
Yes, we used to for things we did regularly in the past but don't do now.
I used to smoke, but I quit this year. I used to live in London.
Be careful not to confuse it with I am used to. That is different. I used to drive means I drove in the past, not now. I am used to driving means I am accustomed to driving. It is normal for me.
For past memories, stick to used to plus verb. In 2025, I used to go to the gym every morning, but then I got lazy in the winter.
We can also use the word would for past habits, but only for actions, not states.
This is advanced. Listen carefully. When I was a child, I would visit my grandma every Sunday. Action. When I was a child, I used to have a dog. State or possession. You cannot use would here.
So for describing your year, during the summer we would go to the beach every weekend. That sounds very nostalgic and storytelling-like.
Let's shift gears to a workplace setting. Talking about your year to your boss is very different from talking to a friend.
Yes, you need to be more formal. You need to focus on performance and growth.
In a year-end review, avoid saying, "it was a roller coaster." That sounds unstable.
Instead, use words like challenging yet rewarding.
2025 was a challenging yet rewarding year. That sounds professional. It means it was hard, but you got good results.
Use verbs like completed, spearheaded, developed, improved.
I spearheaded the new marketing project. Spearhead means to lead an attack or a project. You were at the front holding the spear.
I developed a new filing system. I improved our sales by 10%.
Also, if you made a mistake, don't say, "I messed up." Say, "I identified an area for improvement."
Corporate English is a funny language. I faced a setback in Q3, but I implemented a solution.
Setback. That is a good word for general life, too. A setback is something that delays you or stops your progress.
I had a health setback this year. I had a financial setback. It sounds better than failure.
Let's talk about regrets. When we look back, sometimes we wish we did things differently.
We use the structure I wish I had plus past participle.
I wish I had saved more money. I wish I had traveled more.
Or the negative, I wish I hadn't eaten so much pizza.
Another way to say this is using the third conditional structure. If I had, I would have.
If I had known about the traffic, I would have left earlier.
If I had studied harder, I would have passed the test.
These are complex sentences, but they are very powerful for expressing regret or explaining the past.
Don't get stuck in regret, though. We reflect to learn, not to suffer.
True. That brings us to lessons learned. A great phrase to use is, my biggest takeaway was.
Takeaway? Like takeaway food?
Sort of. A takeaway is the key piece of information or the lesson you take away from an experience. You keep it.
My biggest takeaway from 2025 is that health is more important than money.
My biggest takeaway is that I need to be more patient.
This turns a bad year into a valuable year. Even if you failed, if you have a takeaway, you gained something.
Emma, let's talk about some specific idioms for time and memory. English is full of them because we're obsessed with time.
Oh, I have a list. Let's start with in hindsight.
In hindsight. This means looking back at an event after it is finished. We often say hindsight is 20/20.
2020 is perfect vision. So hindsight is 20/20 means it is easy to see the right decision after the situation is over. It is easy to be wise after the event.
In hindsight, I shouldn't have quit my job without a backup plan.
Another one is a blast from the past.
This is when something or someone from your past suddenly appears. Maybe you hear an old song or see an old friend. Wow, seeing that old photo was a blast from the past.
How about water under the bridge?
I use this all the time. It means that something happened in the past, it's over, and we shouldn't worry about it anymore. Usually referring to a conflict or mistake.
We argued last year, but it's water under the bridge now. We're friends again.
And to turn back the clock.
To return to the past. If I could turn back the clock, I would tell her I loved her. But we can't turn back the clock.
No, we can't. We can only walk down memory lane.
A trip down memory lane. This is when you spend time remembering the past, usually happy things. Maybe looking at yearbooks or visiting your childhood home.
We sat around the fire and took a trip down memory lane.
Now, Jack, what about social media? The year in review is a huge trend now. Spotify Wrapped, Instagram recaps.
Yes, people post photo dumps.
Photo dump. It sounds a bit unglamorous, but it means posting a collection of random photos from a specific time, like October dump or 2025 dump.
It's a way of showing the behind the scenes of your life, not just the perfect selfies, but the messy, funny, real moments.
If you are commenting on someone's year-end post, what can you say?
You can say, "Looks like an amazing year. What a year you've had. Here's to more adventures in 2026.
Or if it looks like they had a hard time, "You are so strong, sending love for the new year. Proud of you for getting through this."
Kindness is key online.
Let's try one more scenario. A family dinner, New Year's Day, everyone is eating. Grandma asks, "So, Jack, what did you do with your life this year?"
The dreaded question. Grandma is direct.
How do I answer Grandma? I don't need corporate speak. I spearheaded the turkey carving, and I don't want to be too emotional.
Keep it simple and focus on family or personal news. It was a good year, Grandma. I kept busy with work, and I finally learned how to bake bread. And I visited Auntie Sarah in July, which was lovely.
Focus on connections. I visited Auntie Sarah. Older relatives love to hear about family connections.
And maybe ask her back. How was your year, Grandma?
She will probably tell you about her health and the weather, but listen closely. That is where the vocabulary of aches and pains comes in. But that is a topic for another day.
Indeed. Now, I want to address something. Sometimes when we look back at the year, we feel like we didn't do enough. We compare ourselves to others.
The comparison trap. You look at Instagram and see everyone in Dubai or getting promoted, and you feel like your year was stagnant.
It is important to remember that people only show their highlights. They don't show the days they stayed in bed feeling sad. They don't show the arguments.
Exactly. Don't compare your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel.
If you survived the year, that is an achievement. If you learned one new thing, that is growth.
So when you practice talking about your year, be kind to yourself. Use positive language even for small wins.
Instead of, "I only read 2 books," say, "I rediscovered my love for reading with 2 great books."
Instead of, "I didn't lose weight," say, "I focused on enjoying my meals and staying active when I could."
It's all about framing. How you frame the picture changes how it looks.
Okay, we have covered adjectives, grammar, workplace, social, idioms, and mindset. I think our listeners are ready for the massive vocabulary review.
This is going to be a big one. Get your notebooks ready. We're going to drill these words so they stick in your brain for 2026.
Let's go.
Whirlwind. Repeat. Whirlwind. A very fast, busy, and exciting experience. Example, my trip to New York was a whirlwind. I saw everything in 2 days.
Roller coaster. Repeat. Roller coaster. A situation with many ups and downs. Example, the project was a roller coaster of emotions.
Stagnant. Repeat. Stagnant. not moving, changing, or developing. Example, I felt my career was stagnant, so I quit.
Uneventful. Repeat. Uneventful. Without significant events. Quiet. Example, the flight was long but uneventful.
Milestone. Repeat, milestone. A significant stage or event in the development of something. Example, learning to drive was a major milestone in my life.
Highlight. Repeat. Highlight. The best or most interesting part of something. Example, the highlight of the party was the cake.
Setback. Repeat, setback. A reversal or check in progress. Example, the injury was a major setback for the athlete.
Takeaway. Repeat. Takeaway. A key fact, point, or idea to be remembered. Example, the main takeaway from the meeting is that we need to save money.
In hindsight. Repeat, in hindsight. Understanding a situation only after it has happened. Example, in hindsight, I should have brought an umbrella.
Water under the bridge. Repeat. Water under the bridge. Problems that happened in the past and are no longer important. Example, we used to fight, but it's all water under the bridge.
Nostalgic. Repeat, nostalgic. Feeling happy and also slightly sad when you think about things that happened in the past. Example, listening to 90s music makes me feel nostalgic.
Spearhead. Repeat. Spearhead. To lead a project or attack. Example, she spearheaded the campaign for cleaner parks.
Resilience. Repeat, resilience. The capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Example, she showed great resilience after losing her job.
Productive. Repeat. Productive. Achieving or producing a significant amount or result. Example, we had a very productive meeting.
Blast from the past. Repeat, blast from the past. Something powerful that reminds you of the past. Example, meeting my kindergarten teacher was a blast from the past.
Clean slate. Repeat. Clean slate. A fresh start. Example, January 1st offers everyone a clean slate.
Used to. Repeat, used to. A past habit or state that is no longer true. Example, I used to hate spinach, but now I love it.
Wish I had. Repeat. Wish I had. A structure to express regret about the past. Example, I wish I had learned English when I was younger.
Whew, that was a marathon of vocabulary.
You guys did great. Remember, you don't need to memorize all of these at once. Just choose 3 words that describe your year perfectly.
Maybe your year was a productive roller coaster with a big milestone.
Or maybe it was stagnant, but you have a good takeaway.
Emma, before we get to the question of the day, do you have any final advice for talking about the past?
Yes, be a storyteller. When you tell people about your year, don't just give a list of facts. I worked, I slept, I ate. Boring.
Give it color. Tell us how you felt. Tell us a funny detail.
Instead of, I went to Spain, say, I went to Spain and ate the best paella of my life, but I also lost my luggage at the airport.
That is a story. That invites conversation. The other person can say, oh no, what happened with the luggage?
Exactly. Conversation is like a tennis match. You hit the ball, they hit it back. Stories are the ball.
I love that analogy. Okay, speaking of stories, we want to hear yours.
It is time for the question of the day.
We want you to practice the vocabulary we just learned.
The question is, what was the biggest highlight of your past year?
Or if you want a challenge, what was your biggest takeaway from the past year?
You can answer in the comments. Try to use full sentences. My highlight of my year was, my biggest takeaway was.
And try to use one adjective too. Was it exciting? Unexpected? Challenging?
Here's an example. My year was a roller coaster. The highlight was getting a puppy, but the challenge was training him.
Or, my year was productive. My takeaway is that hard work pays off.
We read every single comment. It is our favorite part of the day.
It really is. We feel so connected to you guys.
Well, Jack, that brings us to the end of another episode.
We have traveled through time together. Thank you for sticking with us.
If you found this video useful, please share it with a friend. Maybe a friend you want to catch up with.
Send them the video and say, hey, this made me think of you. Let's have a coffee and talk about our year.
That is a lovely idea. Connect with people. That is what language is for.
Thank you for watching Hello Daily English. Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep growing.
And goodbye, everyone.
Oh, and one last thing. If you haven't watched our video on how to talk about plans for 2026, you should definitely click right here on the screen. It's the perfect partner to this video.
Yes, we talked about the past today, but you need that video to prepare for the future. So click here and watch it so we can improve the view.
Go watch it now to complete your time travel. Bye.